Hi, hello, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Happy Saturday. Decided to be here earlier than expected because I have a long day and I do have a friend coming over. Let's see. Yep, microphone's fine. Good. I changed my desk setup so that, well, the microphone is a little bit further away from me, so I'm not too loud while still being loud enough. I also changed my setup so that my tablet is right in front of me, centered with my monitor. So it's a lot more comfortable for me to actually sit and work. Or I've been kind of like leaning to the right, and that's not very comfortable for like 2 hours. Whew. So, today I want to do a gesture study. 1 second. Did my thing upload? I want to do a gesture study because it's Saturday and I haven't really got a chance to sit down and study at all. Because I've been mostly tired, honestly. Welcome to the stream, Freezing. Yes, we are live. We are definitely live. Oh, my thumbnail didn't show up in the YouTube. I keep forgetting that I should make my art tags available here. I think my audio's fine at this distance. It's not too close to my face. I mean, I'm still loud and clear. That's what's the most important. Oh, you can hear the clacking of my keyboard. Oh, one other thing. I don't think anyone can hear my fan anymore. So I have a desktop fan that I had clipped to my desk. But I did something interesting. I flipped it around. So now it's just pointed at my legs. So I can still cool off while the fan's not making noise in my microphone. So, I've had a very early morning, but I want to know how you guys have been feeling. Did you get anything up to new or interesting lately? A lot of heat goes to the legs, so not a bad idea. Yep. I wish I had thought about that sooner. Mostly because, you know, having the fan being blown in my face wasn't very comfortable at all. So the fact that it took me this long to figure that out is pretty funny. But at least I got there, you know? I should be drawing what I can't see. I can't see much of this guy's head. Been messing with Ragnarok online server where Alchemist doesn't have access to Homunculus. Well, wait a minute, why not? You've been having to mess with summoning plants and stuff instead. Is there any reason as to why that got removed? Because the Homunculus was kind of like one of the best parts of the Alchemist class. Corpus Trimegatris. Greetings. Good morning. It's always fun to have the weirdos come in the chat. I'm joking. People just don't like people AFK farming with homunculus, I guess. you can kind of do the same thing with your pets, well, your monster pets. So what's the difference? There we go. So, yeah, gesture drawing. If you saw my thumbnail, you can see that it said I used to hate doing this, but that's because I did not understand how to do it. But now that I do know how to do it, it's not as bad as it used to be. But I guess not as bad as not being able to AFK farm without a homunculus. Let people have fun, jeez, I think it's forcing people to have fun. Hermes Trismegistus is one of the famous alchemy. He didn't abuse homunculus. Alright, stop being antisocial with alchemists and party up with your levels. Come on, man. There's gotta be a class for people who are antisocial or just shy in general. That's the class for them. Let me stop. But to be fair, like, I understand, like, it's kind of like forcing people to, like, socialize. But one of the cool aspects of the alchemist is that you can have a creature like that to help fight with you. But it, I guess it shouldn't be for you. I'm making the shoulder way too big. But yeah, it just makes me think of Ragnarok's pets, the pet system, which is probably no different. I think there's another... Was there another class that had summons? Didn't the archer class have a wolf or something? I don't know, I still think, like, the best Ragnarok class is the blacksmith. Just because how ridiculously powerful they can get. Just made this one big thing. Oh well. I don't think pets in Ragnarok even fought for you. Well, the monsters did, the ones that you captured. I keep calling them pets, but what I actually do mean are monsters. The monsters that you capture can fight for you. At least in the last private server that I remember. That's probably not true anymore. Things like Hunter's Bird kind of just facilitate your skills. I think those get relegated to just following you and not shutting up and eating all your food. Aw. That's a shame. really goof this up, especially up here. I'm just gonna stop doing that. And just shortcut it like this. I'm thinking too much, and I should not be. I just gotta keep things loose. All right. I should talk about what happened yesterday. Because yesterday, well, on Thursday, I told you guys that I was going to Anime NYC. That was yesterday. I only went for the day. Because, I feel like if you go for one day, you kind of just see all you can see. Because, Anime NYC has always been like a small con, even though it's for the entire weekend. And I really don't go to the panels anymore. Mostly because it's not really worth my time. I'd rather just go to Artist Alley and see what booths are around. So, that being said, I got to see a lot of cool cosplay. I got to see Nikke because there's a Nikke and Evangelion crossover. So I got to see a literal troupe of Nikke cosplayers and Asuka cosplayers. Because Asuka is the actual rate-up character for the for the crossover event. So that was fun. Yes, Nikke. I don't play Nikke. I tried to play it on its debut, but the game was just not stable. So I'm just like, I'm gonna pass on this. Also, I wasn't quite sure if it was a game for me. I guess in hindsight, it probably wasn't. Oh, right, you saw something about that? Yeah, it was getting promoted at the con. First time seeing bikini was because of Nikke cosplayer. Ooh. I mean, it looks like a fun game, but I think it really isn't for me. But it does, like, have some humorous aspects of it. Like how, like, I guess the younger characters have these mascots. Because the whole, like, thing about Nikke is that they, you know, jiggle physics. But some of the characters can't jiggle because they're either too young. So they get a mascot that jiggles for them. And I think I kind of like that idea, but I don't like the game. I don't like the game enough to see that. But I want to move on from that. I want to move on because I was trying to take pictures with my actual camera, not my phone camera. And I totally screwed up my photos. So some of them, well, most of them are blurry because I accidentally hit a setting. And it messed up my photos in such a way that most of them are kind of blurry, and I'm kind of sad about that. Because I didn't know. that they all left. Some of them turned out sharp, some of them did not, and I just wish that some of them did turn out sharper because some of them were cosplayers for Zenless Zone Zero. So that's why I'm disappointed. Was it Meowshin Blur? You know what? Probably, because there was a lot of handshake. That's a term used in photography. If your photo turns out blurry, it's because your hands were shaky. I think that was the case. I also wanted to take the photo really fast because it was a very busy day, and I didn't want people to walk into my frame or walk into me, because that's the thing that happens at these type of events. People will definitely walk into you. But the thing is, I'm still an amateur when it comes to like actual photography. So that type of mentality probably doesn't make sense when I'm learning how to do it properly. So in due time I'll get better at it, but in the meantime, I guess I have to deal with my blurry memories. Usually images get blurry because of low shutter speed. Yeah, I think that's what happened. No, actually that's not what happened. Because I accidentally pressed a button on my camera, it lowered the ISO. So that's what caused the blur. Yeah, it lowers it means a higher value. I know that, but it wasn't the shutter speed. It was the ISO. I have a shortcut on my camera, which is part of the this diagonal pad on the back of it, and I accidentally pressed it. And I should have realized something was wrong when the shutter speed slowed down. I should have realized that. But I was so into the con that I just didn't bother to check. Because my plan today was to show you the photos I took, but I just don't like some of them. Also, after a while, I just stopped taking photos. I got kind of tired. Got tired of rubbernecking about. I have to shrink this guy. Zoom too big. Hold on, did I turn that off? Yeah, no. Okay, good. I turned off record because that slows down my stuff. Man, you want to go to the USA, but me afraid of God. I know there's like news about that, but those are actually really rare. Those things rarely happen, and when they do happen, it's mostly in the Midwest. So if you're coming to a coastal city, I don't think you have much to worry about. What you hear often on news are just like outliers of things that happen in the day. Much of the country is not like that. guy's feet. Also, it's angled wrong. Anyway, you should still travel to the US. Just you gotta like just travel without fear. I know traveling is fearful in its own right, but you can't let that type of stuff bog you down, otherwise you never leave your home. Like one thing I know is that traveling is, you know, it's also like really daunting because of the planning and stuff, but is it true that immigrant security is harsh with Muslims? I don't know. Um, is it because of the whole migrant crisis? That they're just kind of like, I think that's just like, it's just a problem anywhere, honestly, because of what's going on. But I don't like to talk about that type of stuff here. I don't like to bring up political stuff in my streams because I don't think that's a place to have it. Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to mention that. Like the entire point of my stream is to not think about those things and just relax. Because you know, when you think about that stuff all the time and you bring it into your own little escapism, are you truly escaping? Like, no, you're not. You're just bringing your anxiety everywhere you go. That's why you need pockets of respite throughout your day. Whether it's a time, a place, or a platform. Excuse me, I'm just doing some measurements. But I'm gonna speak one final thing on the subject. Like, as someone who isn't white, and I live in the U.S., I'm living a pretty good life. So it's all about perspective. You can't let things bring you down just because of what you hear. What you hear and what you experience are two totally different things. Sometimes people fulfill their own self-fulfilling prophecy based on their own fears and prejudice. Like those people who had this fear of flooding, but they keep their faucets on. They keep their faucets running, and like, yeah, eventually your stuff's gonna flood because you keep doing that. Maybe I shouldn't add the serratus. Being a bit too bumpy. Preach, yeah. Exactly. Like, don't be a self-fulfilling prophecy, essentially. Yes, the world isn't exactly a friendly place or kind to you, but if you express the kindness that you want in the world, then it eventually does return to you. That's why I like to keep my head up and try to stay positive. But while not ignoring the negative, that's what's important. Don't ignore the negative. Welcome to the stream, Truman. still have a problem with foreshortening, especially when it comes to legs. It just looks like some type of weird sausage. He is done. Let's move on to the next one. Right, where was I? Oh right, I was talking about the con. I was taking photos. I did get some merch, but it's not my typical fare. I've essentially run out of space at home, so not really buying figures, not really buying stuffed animals. So I'm buying clothes for the upcoming season. Since it is getting a bit cooler here, fall is coming as well as winter. So I bought some more hoodies from the con that are both colorful, cute, and stylish. I did get some pins and a few keychains, and that's about it. How many people watching on Twitch? I see a number of 2. I think I have a total of 6 followers on Twitch, but I don't know. I was advised that streaming on both YouTube and Twitch is actually a good idea, but considering how much faster I'm growing on YouTube, I'm having a bit of doubts when it comes to Twitch. Just a bit smaller. I often tell myself maybe I should stop streaming to Twitch, but some people still like to view me there and they like to talk from there, so I'm not gonna just shut that down just because it's just a low number. That wouldn't be very fair to them. Yeah, you swap between both at some times. Yeah, it is primarily a gaming streaming platform, but it wasn't always that way. When it was Josh TV, it was more like a vlogging streaming platform because that was the initial stress test. It was initially for like streaming real life stuff anyway. And the initial statement was to promote creativity, but then it just became like a gaming platform, which is fine. But it wasn't always that way. It's just something that I learned from YouTube about Twitch. It's really close to my shoulder. But, you know, Twitch actually does have a dedicated category for art and music, so at least it has a category. And I am under the music and art category, or well, predominantly art. So you could find me there on Twitch. But it's probably one of the slowest growing categories if you're new to Twitch. Well, not just new, like inactive as much as I am. But I have, in regards to Twitch, I have thought about just not streaming there, well, not streaming my art there, and just streaming any gaming stuff there, but I can't think of anything that I want to play there. Or I don't know if I have time to do that. Maybe when my dad is officially better, I can think about that type of stuff. But in the meantime, I don't view it as my gaming channel. Oh, that was so bad. Drawing is a sandbox game of lines and dots. I guess that's true in a way. So I'm gaming? Yeah. Every time my art improves, it's a new high score, I guess. Really shouldn't be flipping my canvas, but whatever. Pages here, and also there's a drawing movement using Desmos. LOL. What? You're gonna have to explain that to me. Also, excuse me if I'm a little bit loopy. I am pretty tired. It's more like a frontal lobe type of fatigue, I guess. It's not just a full ground fatigue. Even though I felt like I slept well, I'm still a little bit tired. I know it's an early stream, but I still didn't anticipate like yawning right around this time. I also get kind of confused when I'm tired. Desmos is a graph to like math. Oh! Like f open parentheses x close parentheses equals x plus 1. I see. I know that there's like the golden ratio with the arch. I know that's also a math equation as well. Is that also used in Desmos? It probably is, right? You have a linear line. Oh wait, that equation makes a line, like a straight line. Was it? It was Excuse me. Oh my goodness. It makes a straight line on, I think, on the graphing calculator. It's been a long time since I had a graphing calculator, to be honest. I kind of miss that thing. Is interesting. Yeah, oh right. That function is a dot. So it's a marker on the graph of like a because I'm visualizing a graphic calculator And since you said it's a dot, if I were to punch in this equation, it would form a dot on the x-axis, I believe. Or, you know, which quadrant is that? Is it the upper left or the upper right quadrant? Even though it's been years, I still remember the terms. Interesting. Why am I rotating the canvas? It's so unnecessary. So line the shape of the chest. I guess art in a way is also like solving a lot of math problems. There's a lot of correlation when it comes to drawing. Like before you saw me in that previous gesture, I was using a straight line just to see if I got it right, and that's like it's called a plumb line. It's a reference to the construction worker's plumb bob. I was using that because I wanted to know if parts of the arm and the leg, no, parts of the knee was lining up with the elbow in the previous picture. Do it like that. I also realized I should be drawing a lot more looser than this. Draw the shape that's in here. Usually that's the easiest way to get down the leg. Well, not easiest, more like fastest. Then you can just add the other side of the calf muscle. Funny thing about gestures is that it's a practice on how you can capture proportions. And I'm realizing that these legs are a bit long, but that's okay. I am still a little bit tired. Oh, not too wide. I want this too wide. So is it a dot or is it a line? Which is it? Because I can't check. I'm drawing over here. You know what? I'm gonna redo these legs. Too long. Okay, x plus 1 equals y equals f, open parentheses, x, close parentheses, y equals f, open parentheses, close x, then close parentheses equals x plus 1. Okay, someone enter that into a calculator. I want to see what that looks like. Oops, that's way too thin. Should not be yawning. Oh my gosh. It's only Saturday. No. Oh man. I'm gonna short this as a circle. This is gesture, not a hand study. Let's move on to the next picture. It's just a standing front pose, okay? I typically don't like these type of poses because I find them now kind of boring. Unfortunately, the boring stuff is still necessary. One moment, I have to mute myself. Excuse me. Let me take another swig of water for that. Right, back to work. Oh, for those that are just watching the screen, what I'm doing here is called a Riley method rhythm, figure drawing rhythm. So I am finding the rhythms of the figure. So this would be the shoulder, and then into the middle points as close to the bottom of the pubic bone. And then this is the rhythm from the neck to the hips. This is a female figure, so I want to make sure that the hips are wide enough. I'm just going to cap it off. This is one of the first lessons that I learned with my online class, which I gotta get back into pretty soon. This is how you learn how to quickly draw figures, and once you establish that as your gesture, you can move on and not use it anymore. But sometimes I like to go back to use it, just to see if I understand how everything works. Because I can now see the initial lines. Sometimes I can see them like as this, or in this case, since I'm looking at this woman, I can see it like this. Like this is the her pectoral connection onto her ribcage. Well, the top of it anyway. Don't want to draw breast too high. Breasts also have a rhythm. You can connect to the acromion process of the... Oh, excuse me. That's connected to the clavicle. It's basically a series of checks. Too many lines. It's too many lines. I also don't want too many lines, otherwise it's gonna look very strange. Reminds me of Latel Mobile the other day. Oh, right. There's a Latte for the mobile game. Wonder how it translates to the mobile gameplay. I don't know. I mean, Latte on computer would just seem kind of minimalistic. And since it's a side scroller, I think it would kind of translate somewhat well to mobile. Like you just be touching all of your macros, and you'd be touching one side of the screen to move your character. You'd be tapping it to jump. Like I think that's one of those games where it could translate well, like a little bit like similarly to MapleStory. But I don't really know. I wouldn't want to download it. You know, the funny thing, Freezing, is that you brought up Latte, and that was like the very game I was thinking about earlier today when I was hand washing my clothes. I was just thinking about that game and like, man, what made me stop playing it? I think it just takes too long. It takes too long to get anywhere. Like most of these Korean games. It takes too long to get strong enough to go explore other parts of the world. MapleStory does have a mobile game or two, come to think of it. Yeah, they have that. They actually had a DS game, which was bad. That was a bad game. I never played it, but it looked kind of janky. Just like MapleStory. I really should have reviewed this Risk of Rain album, but it's like all these moments of starkness is just so eh. If we had more than just two of us playing at the time, I mean, yeah, it probably would have been faster, but if we had more people playing with us. But there's also like the aspect of like time constraints. Because, you know, the joke back then was that MapleStory felt like a years long journey, only to reach the apex, and you're like, what was it? That one guy just like roast the heck out of the game. How terrible it was. I think that guy was like a long time player. Like he's been playing since the beginning and officially reached the level cap. And when he did, he had some grievances to air out. Like, wow. I mean, power to you, but you still played the game. Yeah, alright, you remember something like that. Some of us know when to quit. And I think Nexon kind of realized that. That's why they made it easier to level up. My other friend actually kind of encouraged me to come back to official MapleStory because of that reason, but I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't just sit there with the disappointment. Still a shame you never recovered my old account. I mean, true, but I don't think I want to get it back, to be honest. It was linked to an old email account, which I think I just dumped anyway. Sometimes it's just best to move on, especially if you kind of had some bad memories attached to some things. You don't really want to dig up old stuff. Just start anew. I'd just rather start anew. But that account did have like it really, well, it wasn't that high. I think her level was 78. I had a level 78 assassin, which at the time was pretty good for MapleStory. But you know, they're way more. Man, funding an assassin back then was just such a tedious job. I don't know why I stuck with it. Maybe because I thought that I could. Pre-Big Bang was impressive, you suppose. I suppose. Then they introduced these new jobs that, like, aren't that fun to play. They seem really cool because of the whole, like, bombastic part of it. Like, the kid that's... They can use psychic powers, there's, like, a summoner and stuff like that, but you couldn't really customize those characters because those were story characters in a way. So if you wanted to play the psychic kid, you were that psychic kid. You could not really change his appearance that much. You can change his clothes and stuff, but you were playing as his story. I'm not sure how other players felt about that. Maybe that's why in the private MapleStory servers, they were just like, jobs like that were just straight up excluded because they just realized how stupid that was. Isn't the figurine... Is the figurine has some momentum? Oh, this one? No, it's just a standing front pose, so... I'm just drawing what I'm seeing here. Those are a bit too big. I'm almost done with this. The central mass seems off. Probably right. That's kind of like the reason why I don't like standing front poses. Because they're kind of boring. And that stuff can happen as well. Where the central mass is just off. I should have drawn this with a bit more confidence, but I am not. I just want to move on from this figure. I spent too much time on her. I probably should have did myself a favor and did a warm-up first. I usually do my warm-ups off stream because those are just like me drawing lines like this and this. Like that's how I warm up my arm. But that's not really interesting to look at. This song? Yeah. It's a tragedy song. Good enough that they keep using it in Arknights. can't see her shoulder or her hair. I have to assume, based on the position of her arm, that it's a bit. It reminds me of human rationalizing their suffering. Well, it's one of the most things, it's the only thing you can do. If you can't control certain aspects of your emotions, such as your own suffering, you have to rationalize it. Just like how people rationalize their own fears. Maybe that's why I can't get into horror movies. Because I rationalize the horror to such a degree that it doesn't make... it's not scary anymore. And I just kind of like roll my eyes at horror movies. Exaggerate this a bit more. It's always my problem with gesture drawing. I don't know when to exaggerate sometimes. Let's keep it simple. Fear is great entertainment. I find it all boring. Don't get me wrong, I can get scared of stuff. Like, I do have fears, I have worries and all that stuff, but when it's fictionalized and dramatized like that, I'm just like, no. I'm just gonna not. And what's worse is that in these horror movies, they often like show too much and they jump scare you too much because they're afraid that you're getting bored, so that's why they do all these jump scares. And that defeats the purpose of a horror movie. Like, you're supposed to like hold the audience's attention enough to fear them, but they don't even do that. I just don't like to give my imagination ammunition. The thing is, it reminds me of that that movie called The Bird Box, where the monster was always off screen. So that's actually a good idea. The monster should not be seen at all by the audience, but only the people in the world. So of course it makes them fearful because the entire point of that monster is that if you see it, it kills you. Or it's more like if you see it, it drives you to death, I think? It drives you to your demise. Like, it makes you so insane, it makes you want to off yourself. So that was, in a sense, it made sense to not show the monster, but what was her name? Sandra Bullock? Yes, the main actress, Sandra Bullock, saw the actual monster design and she kept laughing at it because it looked so silly to her. So that's why it was just never shown on screen. So I'm like, how bad was the design that she found it so funny looking? The real horror movie is the one that doesn't use jump scares to scare you. Yeah, well, actually, if you go back to the old horror movies, is that, what was it? Which one was it? The one where, was it? Oh my gosh. Oh, right, Halloween. That's the one I'm thinking about. Halloween. So, in Halloween, there was a jump scare, but it wasn't like built up to it. There's a jump scare in that one, and there's a jump scare in The Grudge as well. But also, once again, it's not built up to that. So, I remember in The Grudge, the woman was watching a TV, and then the camera just pans over, and you see a man behind her, and that's enough to jump scare you. Because, oh, all of a sudden, like, because that entire scene you thought she was alone. But then you see that guy behind her, and that's enough to spook you. That makes sense, because that's a realistic jump scare. But to have, like, these modern movies where they just, like, they build up the movie, they build up the music, and then the music cuts out, so it's like, oh yeah, I know there's a jump scare coming because you cut off the music. Just so we can hear the scream. Like, I see you, what you're doing there. Just waiting for Godot or the Truman Show? The Truman Show? Is there a new Truman Show, or just... Why are they remaking old movies? That's so strange. I'm spending too long on this. This arm. I know her hand goes here. I guess I just want to establish where her hand goes. For later, I'm going to use it as a measuring point. I'm gonna end the stream around 11. Yeah, I'll end the stream around 11 because I have to prepare for my friend to show up. I think he's gonna show up around noon, and I have to like clean him up a little bit. I just need that hour cleaning. Truman for me is existential or psychological horror. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, that type of existential horror is warranted. I think that's a good... I guess it was not made to be a horror genre, but it just wound up becoming one because of the whole concept of it. Excuse me. I understand like people would see that as an existential and psychological horror. I remember when I was a kid and I stayed over at my cousin's house, and we rented some movies back then. I think I was middle school. So we watched 2 horror movies. One was called The Faculty, and the other was a suspense horror. Unfortunately, I don't remember it, even though that was the one I liked more. I liked that one more because it was actually scary. Like, the professor was a chemist, and he knew how to paralyze his victims. And his victim was his former mistress, which was a younger woman. But at the time, we didn't know how she died. He made it seem like she either ran off the road into a lake, so it looked like an accident, or it looked like she offed herself. So for a long time, the police thought that that's how she passed away. But as the story unfolds, the wife finds out how that girl died, and then she realized, like, oh my god, my husband knows how to do this, and he almost did the same thing to her, where he there was a scene where he put a injection into her neck, and it completely was it a muscle relaxant? I think it was a muscle relaxant or some type of thing that paralyzed her muscles. And he put her in the bathtub and filled up the bathtub with water. He was going to drown her like that. But she was smart, and she just, even though she was paralyzed, she just kept trying to exercise her muscles. She was contracting and extending her muscles as much as she could possibly do. to a point where she was able to slam her foot into the drain and drain the water. That was the scariest thing I've ever seen, and I was like a kid. Nervous blocker. Yes, usually, yes. So she was able to stop him, and then at the... this movie's really old, so I'm gonna spoil it a bit. Also, I don't quite remember it perfectly. The ending is that they both wind up at the same lake the previous girl died in. And it became supernatural at that point, where it seemed like the ghost of the man's previous victim pulled him down into the lake, or he can end in his demise as well. So it was justice for that woman and justice for the wife. I thought that was pretty cool. But it was cool and scary, even though it was just strictly named... Oh, the genre is just suspense. Like, no, this is a horror. Like, you could have really, you could have really killed her. I just know that I remember the wife was played by, Michelle Pfeiffer. That's the thing I remember. Maybe I can look it up. Let me take a small, quick moment to look it up. Michelle... suspense movie. Is it this one? Yeah, it was What Lies Beneath. Yeah, Harrison Ford was the husband. Yes, that's the one. What Lies Beneath, that was the movie that I really liked. The wife of a university research scientist believes that her lakeside Vermont home is haunted by a ghost, or that she was losing her mind. Yes. Hello, Xiang. Welcome to the chat. We're just talking about horror, and I was talking about a horror movie I saw when I was younger. Oh wow, that movie was successful back then. Nice. Hello, Mr. Bro. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Young. Hello. Where did hello even come from? Including chatter. Let's go back to my reference. Here it is. So, if you're interested in watching, it's a very old movie. It's actually legitimately 24 years old. The movie's called What Lies Beneath. Oh no, you have COVID! Oh no! So it wasn't just a cold. Oh my gosh, did your friend give you COVID? Uh-oh. Because I remember you said you were meeting up with your friend, and your friend was sick. Then again, that's pretty... oh, yeah, he did! Oh no! Oh no! I thought the symptoms of COVID take a bit longer to manifest. Because I assumed you were a little bit sick before you meet your meetup with your friend. But I guess he had COVID too. I'm so sorry! Oh no! And here I'm saying, like, I was at a con and, like, I saw no one coughing. There were a few people wearing masks, but no one was coughing there. No one was sick. Then you show up to my stream like, oh no, I have COVID, guys! Ah! So lucky? Yeah, I was lucky. Also, I did the smart thing and stayed hydrated throughout my time at the con. Because the number one aspect of catching a cold is being dehydrated. This is why you guys gotta stay hydrated. I don't know why I'm rotating this again. Any cool recs for movies or animes? Because I'm just stuck inside now. Never been diagnosed with COVID, so I'm kind of curious on the experience of it. Steins Gate. Well, COVID felt... Well, I had COVID before, so to me, it felt like I had a really bad flu. Where I just felt completely exhausted. Like, it was more like my energy was just drained when I got COVID. I remember having the muscle aches, but it was just the energy aspect of it. Also, I was in a lot of pain. Yeah. But the first iteration of COVID, it was really, to me, like a flu. And I haven't had a flu in a while. When it hits me, I felt like pain behind the eyes and get nosebleed. Ooh. For me, I had a lot of headaches. Like it felt like the front of my skull was gonna explode. So I guess it really is different depending on how your body handles it. So the experience of COVID is very subjective, Mr. Bro. Yes, it was a lot of sinus pressure. Let's see. If I could recommend a movie, I think you already saw Bochi the animation. What's a good I'm sick anime? Oh no. I don't know, Prince Summer was kind of like it. What's a good movie? Well, maybe I shouldn't recommend a modern movie because those are kind of mid at best. I guess if you don't mind suspense, I would recommend What Lies Beneath. I don't recommend The Faculty because that's just stupid. Stupid alien movie. What was another movie? I just want to recommend really old movies, to be honest. Since they did a remake of... Well, is it a remake or rehash? 12 Monkeys was pretty good. Which year? It was like... Isn't there like 3 versions of 12 Monkeys? Waiting for Godot. Okay, I guess that's... I'm gonna say Waiting for Godot. Theater Act. I see. Going with Bruce Willis? Okay, so that is the modern one. 'Cause I saw the old one. I thought it was pretty okay. Your friend recommends Ava and Berserk? Oh, which Berserk? Don't watch the 3D Berserk. Watch the animated Berserk. Just don't watch the 3D Berserk. It looks really bad and really stiff. Ava is a good recommendation. I'm just thinking, maybe you should like that stiff guy. If you don't mind reading, I do recommend Kanen-sama is easy as hell. I also recommend the guy I was interested in is not actually a guy. I recommend what was that other one? I guess Dungeon Meshi is good as a well, Dungeon Meshi is better as a manga than as an anime. Let me see what I have in my queue. What else was I reading? Oh yeah, the Arknights manga is pretty good as well. Tonikaku Kawaii. I should catch up on that. To go back to reading, I'm sick and tired of my childhood friends. Now girlfriend's constant abuse, so I broke up with her. Watch a COVID documentary for your sickness immersion. No! Don't do that. You want to forget you have COVID. You already know you have COVID. These are all romance. Do I have comedies? Oh yeah, if you want to read something cute, I recommend White Tiger and Black Tiger. That's basically a 4-coma. It's very cute. Let's see, sci-fi stuff. If any of you guys are into, like, the Devil May Cry series, have any of you read the manga Devil May Cry 5 Visions of V? Because if you haven't played the game, that manga actually perfectly summarizes the game. Even with some additions that helps flesh out some of the characters. I don't want to, like, spoil it. I don't want to name the character because it's a spoiler. I would recommend Visions of V, Devil May Cry 5. See if this lines up. Yeah, it lines up. This should also line up. Well, everything here lines up. Nice. Very nice. Foolishness, Sarah. Foolishness. What, is the story already spoiled? Is that it? Is that why I'm being foolish? I mean, I guess the game is technically old enough where spoilers is not a problem, but I don't know. I don't know how people feel about that. I usually don't like spoiling games if they're still within a certain time frame. But if the game's more than 10 years old, then, like, I don't know, I'm gonna go all out. Keep messing with this foot and I don't know why. Maybe because it bugs me so much. Yeah, I'm gonna stop. Oops. Steins Gate explore the idea of time travel, fate, science, and human condition. I tried watching Steins Gate, but I got confused. Then again, Monogatari also confused me because it's a lot of wordplay, and you have to, like, really focus on reading everything when it comes to Monogatari. I think I like Steins Gate because of all the jokes that are in it, but I never actually finished it. Human as a temporal being. I forgot the original premise of the story. Like, why was he... Was he trying to find time travel, or was he trying to stop something? I think he was trying to discover time travel to do something. I don't remember. But, no, I do... Even though I didn't finish it, I also recommend Steins Gate. What the heck? Was that a bot that followed me? Into your platform subscription? What? Oh, I hope that's not a bot. Which is very strange. You don't want to spoil the potential watcher. Oh, it's young. Wait. Oh, okay. Oh, I see, I see. Okay, thank you for following me, Sean. I mean, I think it's funny, like, people want to subscribe to my Twitch channel, even though I feel kind of like I'm a little bit biased against it, but I'm often amused by the by the swapping between the two. So I'm just gonna like keep it for you guys being silly. Thanks for the follow, Oshibatsu. That's strange. Why didn't the alert pop up? Usually when people subscribe, it's supposed to pop up on the screen. It only seems to pop up on YouTube when someone subscribes to my YouTube channel, which that should not be the case. It should do for both. Maybe something went wrong with the alert. Oh, that's just the visual. Odd. Well, I don't think I want to worry about that at the moment. I'll focus on my studies. I'm gonna copy my instructor and not use too many lines. Oh wow, that ribcage is like looking really flat at this angle. Granted, she is turning towards me. Vibey song. Oh yeah, I love the soundtrack from River City Girls. Oh, only the first one. The second game's soundtrack was kind of bad, which was surprising. Because that one was like really good. The music from the first game is very good. But when you listen to the opening song for River City Girls 2, it kind of feels like it's been phoned in. Like, what? Like, why is the energy not being matched for your sequel? Good evening, Cat's Orin. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. I am doing a gesture drawing. I gotta remember that. Let me guess, my live stream showed up in your feed. I usually get that a lot. That's why I like YouTube. It's actually pretty useful in getting people to find me. Oh gosh, I just have to find the wrist bone a bit. I found your live on your feed too. Yeah, This happened on my last live stream. People hop in because they see me on their feed. Yeah. I'm just like, I always kind of wonder, like, what makes you click? Is it the title? Is it the thumbnail? Is it the music? Is it that you see a tiny bunny at the lower right corner of the screen? Because sometimes people pop in for the subject matter, because I like to draw arcanized characters, I like to draw head portraits. But I see I get a bit more views when I'm studying, so typically I get people who want to learn how to draw. So I don't know. SEO expertise. I don't know about expertise on that one. I can draw the fingers. But I will draw this section. Heck. I've been told my my live streams are pretty chill. I want them to be as relaxing to me as it is to everyone else. Just strike this line down. It's not gonna go anywhere. I'm just striking it down. I am taking a moment to just draw. You do industrial design, so when I saw the stream I was like, cool. Okay. Okay. What's industrial design like? I kinda wonder. The algorithm contemplate on what art really is, so they define everything as an art. Maybe because I search anatomy drawing too much. It's funny because anatomy is not even one of my tags, so interesting how YouTube works, huh? I guess figure drawing is one of my tags and gesture drawing is one of my tags, so I do have a playlist for that. It's like product design? Industrial design? Oh, industrial design is product design, I see, okay. Oh. Yeah, designing products and services. That sounds like a cool job. Dare you design my existence? No. You know, I have watched some YouTube channels about products. Like, you know, like, hold on. You know, like how either in the store or on online stores, you see all these, like, colorfully designed products, let's say for the kitchen. Let's say you see a ladle that looks like a cat. You see a ladle that looks like a cat, and then you think, oh, well, that's a cute design, that would be perfect in my kitchen, but does this design make sense? Is it still practical while being fashionable, I guess? And there was this YouTube channel who, he is a retired product designer, and he would test items like that. And most of the times they don't get a pass because he does practical tests, like he does right-handed tests, he does left-handed tests, he does oily hand tests to make sure, like, hey, in any scenario your hands will get dirty. So what's gonna happen to this. How's this product going to perform if your hands are dirty? If they're, let's say, oily or slippery, most of the time they don't perform well because they are often too smooth or not smooth enough, or they're too smooth and they don't have much of a grip. Yeah, design always has stuff. School, work, retirement, death, GG's. Design always starts with a problem. Yes, because your design is working towards solving a problem that you're creating. Or solving a problem that exists. So, that's why it brings me to that cat-shaped ladle. It also brings me to that, there's a strawberry, stem remover? I know there's another name for it, but it removes the stems of the strawberry. But the thing is, you don't actually need those because a knife can do the same job. So there are some products that are kind of just a waste of money, and they're just designed to look pretty and to just take up more space in your kitchen drawer. And sometimes it is like that. Like I've had bought things that are like that. And the takeaway there is that you should never buy a product or a tool that only does one thing. You should buy a tool that does multiple things. No cat-shaped kitchenware. It's not just cats. I've seen a bat-shaped corkscrew. I've seen a mushroom cap that holds butter. I've seen an onion-shaped onion container. Like it's supposed to save the onion and keeps it from drying out in the fridge. It's things like that it's not very necessary in your day-to-day life. If I can remember the, maybe I can pull it up somehow. Oops. I don't really want it in my YouTube feed though. Because my this YouTube channel is, I subscribe to a lot of artists, so I'd rather not be in my feed. Yes. It was from Epicurious. Epicurious, that's the name of the channel. So, typically they're called Tested by Design Expert. I wonder if they still do these things. Any, playlists? Well equipped, that's the playlist. So they haven't done it in a year, which is interesting. There's even like products from Shark Tank. Maybe I can link you the... Yes, I can link you the playlist. The shape of a flat surface is something I have never considered. Oh, yeah. You never consider the compression of the muscle and the fat on the buttocks? You gotta consider how the body reacts to other surfaces. a little bit and get that other foot in. Usually good. It's usually good for usability testing. Yeah, well, I just linked you the stream, the playlist. Unfortunately, it hasn't been updated in about a year, but some of the things that are there are just really strange. Like that. There was one where you fill a banana with either other things, like you decor the banana and you fill it up with either like chocolate, peanut butter, maybe caramel if you want. And like it works half the time. Which is disappointing. Because seeing how it's being advertised to you as, wouldn't you want like a something filled banana, like a stuffed banana? Ew, meat stuffed banana. Oh. Right. There was one where he tests Japanese products. If you want to see that specifically, that's on the list. It's not too far down the list. There is one where he tests portable food gadgets, TikTok gadgets, gadgets from Shark Tank, high-end gadgets, so those are going to be more expensive. Taco making gadgets, frying gadgets, straining gadgets, decorating gadgets. These are all for the kitchen, of course. Then there's kitchen gadgets from the 90s, chopping gadgets, cleaning gadgets, more vintage stuff as seen on TV, breakfast things, sandwich things. Oh yeah, I remember the sandwich gun, the ketchup and mustard gun. That was a stupid device, actually. It was so dumb. I should watch this portable one. I think I missed that. And the high-end one. Usually the more expensive ones are the most interesting because that's the one that will want you to invest highly into. How am I doing on time? Okay, I'm doing fine on time. Shoot ketchup at each other? No, it, if you ever seen those, toothpaste tube scrapers where you can squeeze the rest of your toothpaste out of it, the portable kitchen gadget for that would be for a ketchup packet. So you can get the rest the rest of the ketchup from the packet like that. But you can do the same thing with your finger. See how unnecessary that type of gadget would be? Like, I don't mind design products that are actually kind of cool, but some of them truly are a waste of money. Pull it out and shoot it at my friends. You shoot ketchup and mustard at your friends? Gee, I hate to be your friend. You ruined my shirt, bro. Oh, this guy's doing a handstand. Let's see if I can do this right. Scapula. spine. That is... Oh man, this website I'm using, while I do like it, it's called Quick Poses. While I do like it, some of these photos are just very blurry. I don't understand why they don't update them. Wait. Easiest. Oh, I'm getting lost in translation here. Easiest to shoulder. You know what? I can't do it like that. I'm gonna have to in the shape of the shoulder. It's working with a blurry reference is pretty bad, and I highly not recommend. I'm kind of doing the best that I can here. Just want to try to capture the gesture of a handstand. Wait, now I want to do a comparative angle because hands are a bit aligned. Let's work with this scapula. I gotta work with what I can see. But if what I can see is blurry, then it's gonna be a problem. Bruh. There, you can see this part. Make this ribcage too long, but it's not long. So I'm gonna change the direction here. Okay, that makes a bit more sense. Everything's leaning back. The opposite of standing. Well, he's handstanding. That's a thing. I can't do a handstand at all. I can't do a handstand, I can't cartwheel. Cannot somersault, because somersault is scary. Page to oblique. Also have to keep in mind like the 3D shape of what I'm doing here. That is too forward in my opinion. Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna have to change that again. Because it's because I'm not drawing his hair, and I realize that the angle of his head is incorrect. So I'm gonna redraw the head. I'm gonna push it backward. It's more tilted like this. Tilted a bit backward. Head will actually look like a head. Ear back in. Now it looks like a normal head. Okay, good. I have to make this scapula shape a little bit longer to compensate for what I did, and I think that should do it for now. Shoulder is very prominent on this side. I'm gonna widen this a bit later. You meant the curvature of the vertebrae. Oh, shoot. Crap. I done goofed this one. Because, hold on, if I curve it like this... it should curve... Oh. Well, maybe because I should tilt... It needs to be tilted a bit more backward. The vertebrae should be tilted more backward. Alright, let's start this again. Let's just delete this. Alright, let's start with the head again. What? Don't you know that I do that? Because the more I realize, I can see like his vertebrae is his rib cage is tilted a bit backward. So that's something that I have to consider. So there's some foreshortening with the torso. I mean, yeah, but the thing is, because his neck is tilting, well, technically it's tilting back while doing this handstand. And this photo is blurry. I'm trying to capture the neck properly. But if I drew the neck incorrectly before, then the rest of the picture's not going to follow through. So it makes sense to just start again. Yeah, I know, like, I could have just fixed the neck, but because I messed up my landmark, which is the neck, everything else doesn't make sense anymore. That's why I wanted to start over. Because that's how drawing is. And I don't get wrapped up in that type of stuff, you know? It's a gesture drawing. Don't get attached to drawings like this. They're meant to be done as an exercise, and then if I'm not satisfied with them, I'm just gonna toss them away. Let's measure his neck properly this time. Because ribcage is like tilting this way. And then the pelvic bone is going to tilt that way. Hello, welcome to the stream. Oh. I'm sorry, I can't read your username. Hello, Smitterdoodle. Welcome to the stream. I am redrawing this pose. I messed it up. Now, I have to like take a moment to actually look at it. You can see his trapezius. It just looks like, for some reason, it looks like the shoulder connects directly to the base of his neck, which is just odd. Because it looks like this to me. I think that's why I kind of drew the shoulder like this. Let me just draw the rhythm of this arm. And the rhythm of the other arm. And line them up. You're going through Lamb's Canyon stream. Might crash if you don't be back. If you're not back in 5 minutes. Well, I plan on wrapping up my stream in about a half hour, so I'll see you later. Put that scapula in. Okay, so now this makes sense. Now I can see. It's been 2 hours already? Yeah, it has been. I started at 8:30. See, Mr. Bro, I should have drawn it like this, where the vertebrae is a little bit more out. It's actually like right here, but the muscle attaching to the thoracic region is there, so I'm just compensating for what I'm seeing. This part is actually the ribcage. It doesn't bend like that. That's odd. Ends like this. The best way to know is to try it yourself. I don't do handstands. Nope. I tried and that neck position hurt. Just do it against the wall, you'll be fine. Guys, I'm just trying to capture the pose and the proportion. This is a gesture study, not a structural study. Well, granted, if my instructor heard that, he'd probably be a little disappointed. see. Yeah, this is what the pose looks like to me. What's the difference between gestural and structural? So gestural is capturing the rhythm of the pose, which is mostly it's usually found in the muscles themselves, either connected into the insertion of the muscles or just the flow of the pose. That's the gesture. That's something that you quickly have to pick up when you start figure drawing. You have to pick up the head because the head is the measuring tool for the rest of your body. You also have to do comparative angles and take account of negative shapes. This right here would be considered a negative shape. This is a comparative angle, and this would be a plumb line. So gesture is quickly putting down the pose and the body as quickly as possible with just based solely on observation. Structural is based off of also observation, but also somewhat of your knowledge of human anatomy. So structural would be like, oh, okay, so I just established my rib cage. I'm gonna add in like the lumbar system here. I'm gonna add in more of the muscle like so, and more of the rib cage, stuff like that. Like I'm establishing here. I kind of like drew a box here. This is the boxy shape of the pelvis. So that's in itself is structural. And that's essentially like, I'm going from gesture, which is kind of like, in a way, 2D space, and then I moved to structural, which is going into 3D space. There's this professor that specializes in sports and motion. Okay. And how is this related to what I just explained? Also, my instructor said that to find the next gesture, sometimes you have to put in the structure. So how he teaches me that is essentially, I do the gesture, then I put in the structure that is the rib cage, and then I do a gesture again, and then I put in the structure of the pelvis, then I go back to gesture. You kind of do that back and fro, until you establish your pose. You told me that the central mass is the key to movement or flow. Yes. Okay. Central mass is yes. That is also a thing in, well, of course, in art. Your leg may move, but not the central mass. So, I'm gonna say like a counter pose or counterbalancing of a pose, like how the ribcage should be like. Oh, hold on. Like how the ribcage should be like this, but the shoulders are like this, and the pelvic bone is like this. So like kind of like that. By the way, this is an example. Here's an example of structural composition. This would be your rib cage. Then you put in the pelvis. That's an example of structural. You put in the bony mass and another bony mass, because those are your main excuse me, that's one of the two base structures. That's not the head. Of course there's the head. And of course you're following the gesture, which is following the rhythm, and the rhythm would be the neck, rib cage, and the spine, bend of the spine here and the lumbar region, and then the pelvic bend here. course, one of the reasons why I like to practice gesture is because of how loose it is. You can make as much mistakes as you want and just go back and correct it if you want to. Sometimes I choose not to, because it's just best to learn from my mistakes and just move on. Pretty sure that's not a good a good method of study, but it does work for me sometimes, especially when because now I'm much more pressed for time. Nowadays, not now. This is too big. Draw that gesture. I'm also going to move him a bit down. Another thing my instructor also said that whenever you draw a line like this, where it goes doesn't matter, as long as you establish where it's going. Here, I'm doing a correction. Still in the same direction. I'm just correcting it. Because this quad is not long enough. It should align with the top of his head. The knee should align with the top of his head. And it does, okay? Then, because I did this gesture, it helps me find the structure of his ankle. Maybe it's going this way. The heel again. Down. Okay, I'm gonna check again. See if this matches. Yep, that matches. Relatively slow. He also said that be mindful that some parts of your art are gonna either shrink or grow. I realize that in my correction his head is too small now, because now everything else is like being too big. But that's okay. This is still a study. He's wearing shoes, but I want to establish that this is the bottom of his foot. Flip it upside down. I will in a second. Okay. I want to finish his arms first. Center this a bit. Let me just put in the tricep. It's a bit wider. Alright, I'm gonna flip him. There he is. This looks fairly good, except, you know, that head is definitely small. And there are some problems in the, I think, in the pelvic region. But what's important is that I recognize I made those mistakes rather than dwelling on them. Also, I can't put too much detail on his backside here. He's wearing pants. Oh, hey Dharma. Good evening, guys. Good evening, Sarah. How's it going? It's going pretty well. I'm doing some gesture drawing. I'm just gonna do a little cheat here. There we go. To the stream. I kind of wish you were here earlier because I started at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Excuse me. Next one. Oh, I don't want to do a laying pose, especially not like this. I guess this is fine. How are you, bro? Sorry, you've gone a while. What deeds? Oh, they're asking if the Dharma in Dharma Gaming means deeds. But feel no sorry of the swear. What? What's with you and the existential stuff? Been going on this whole time. Almost this whole time. I gotta work faster. Oh, hold on. Okay, that looks like an actual bot in my Twitch chat. Trying to get rid of them. Oh, where's my bag at? Oh, brother. There it is, my dashboard. Notifications, holy cow. Okay. How do I... Oh gosh, I don't remember how to use my Twitch anymore. Oh no. That's not good. Oh, that's how you do it. I see. Okay. Let's see the username. There it is. Lock. Alright, that person's gone. How do I make someone a mod on my Twitch? That work? I'm just gonna assume that it worked. Oh well. Yep, there we go. I got it. Freezing, you will be my mod on my Twitch channel. It's just to keep the bots from putting stuff in my chat. They seem to only show up if I go for a long time, which is like over 2 hours. But it's only seems to happen on the Twitch side. It's not a problem here on YouTube. Anyway, let me keep up here. Doesn't feel right when you have a favorite channel and don't come to watch. Oh. Oh, that's such a sweet thing to say. I feel a little flustered. Cheap, no free existential stuff on you, Mr. Bro. Poor tuber fan got hacked. About your name, Dharma, it means truth. Oh, so truth gaming. Okay. Okay, I got it. I'm not that far behind on the chat, thankfully. That didn't take too long. And I can just moderate YouTube on my own, but eventually that's going to be a problem later on, because I seem to be growing faster on YouTube than I am on Twitch. And I'm going to have to worry about moderation later on. But that's a future Sarah's problem. I'm your comfort streamer? Aw, thanks. Glad you feel comfy here. Got a few more people here on Twitch than usual. Yeah, that's true. Well, I think because it's Saturday, and it's morning for me. It's probably late night for other people. I think that's like the golden hour. It has to be on a weekend, and it has to be in the morning for people on the western part of the world, and night for the eastern side of the world. That's how you can truly meet up with people. Oh, no, I have 10 minutes left. I don't wanna dawdle anymore. I want to translate what deeds mean. Deeds? Doings? There are actions? Like, good deeds is a good act towards another person. A bad deed is the opposite. It's a bad, excuse me. Oh, I think you understand. I don't want to over-explain things, because then I'd sound like my aunt. Dirty deeds are done cheap. Dirt cheap. Yeah, deeds is just like actions that you take. You have an oath called Tridharma, and it means 3 deeds. Oh, Tridharma, excuse me. But Dharma Gaming spells it without the H. so it's not quite the same. What is my drawing? Gosh. Looks horrendous. I'm gonna redo that. This, redo this. At least it's not drama gaming. That sounds miserable. That does sound miserable. That sounds kind of funny. I drew them too big. Ugh. I suppose should be in my wheelhouse, but some things are not panning out the way I'm viewing it. Some people spell that wrong before. Ah. Right, they would spell that wrong. They would spell it drama. Oh. You know what? I'm gonna push this forward and push this. Hips bend the way that it should. Ooh, 5 minutes left. Ugh. Good thing this is not a timed gesture, otherwise I'd be in real trouble. Is Tri-Dharma an international student oath? I don't know. I never heard about that here in the States. And plus, I'm not a medical student, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. The width. This head should be more back. Bigger. You know, maybe you should explain what the deeds are so that we can understand what you mean. I'll learn how to get into my flow state when I'm streaming. I want to talk to you guys. Can't get into my flow state if I'm talking. Oh no, Eleanor, you're late. You can't even keep watching. It's your job, Sarah, to sing them a lullaby. No, it's not. Anyway, good night, Dharma. See you. See you guys tomorrow. I'm not live tomorrow. I haven't made the schedule for the next week, but I will put it in the Discord. But have a good night. I should probably post my schedule on YouTube as well. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. What? Have a good day. You can't even watch a stream in peace. Why not? Oh, it's because you're late? That's a shame. Well, prioritize what you think is better. Well, the great thing about YouTube is that everything is archived right after everything is done. The problem is that you can't participate in the stream. I think that's what everyone laments about missing a stream. Like, oh no, I didn't get the chance to talk. It sucks. Whoop. You leaving at Alanov? Alright. Was it Alanov? See ya. See ya. Well, the thing is, I'm also leaving. Let me just finish this up so it's in the collage for today's session. Let's put him right here. Okay. Pull it down as well. Let's see, 2.5 hours and 7 poses? That's not too bad. I probably could have done more if I hadn't interrupted myself, but this is not so bad. Also, my gestures could definitely use some more work, especially with this front pose here. This one right here doesn't seem very nice. The sitting pose is only okay, but I feel like I definitely messed up her legs. And this took the longest, of course, because it's a handstand. I don't really draw handstands. All of the poses I've drawn when it comes to gesture have always been either sitting or standing poses. And some crouching poses too. So I have to get used to like wild poses such as the handstand and other stuff. Maybe even jumping as well. But that being said, thank you for watching. Thank you for participating in chat. Thank you for listening in on my stream. I'm going to post a schedule for next week, but I'm definitely, oh boy, the week after that's going to be really hectic for me. So that's going to go in the community tab on YouTube, and I'm going to also put the schedule for next week onto Discord. It's going to be under announcements. So be sure to check the announcements channel in Discord and the community tab on YouTube for my schedule for this upcoming week. Alright. With that being said, have a great weekend. Take care and stay safe.